I do anywhere from 30 to 40 Comic Cons a year, so I made a few mistakes. I said, hey guys, it's great to be in Dallas. And your hands up there. Sam, you're in Pensacola, Florida. Okay, so I have to think to say where I am.
Give you the one and only, the living legend himself, Sam Jones.
Well, that's a pretty cool intro. Should I use my sexy voice? Okay, yeah. Pretty good. Let's hear it for Eric and Brian, okay? And Brian with an I, by the way. I don't know why I always do Brian with a Y or Brian
two eyes.
With an I. All right.
Okay.
That's a pretty crazy intro. Yeah, look at that. Oh, yeah. I guess we should sit down.
So, ladies and gentlemen, as Sam is getting situated, we're going to let you guys be the ones to ask Sam questions. We were getting ready. We were getting prepared. And Sam was like, you know what, Smoke? I want to be able to talk to the audience. So we're going to let you guys ask the questions you want to ask. Anything you want to ask. Well, first off, Sam, are you having a good time today?
Oh, we are. It's great to be here. I have to think where I am after this. It's great to be in Oaks, Pennsylvania, huh? So, I do anywhere from 30 to 40 Comic Cons a year, so I made a few mistakes. I said, hey guys, it's great to be in Dallas. And your hands up there. Sam, you're in Pensacola, Florida. Okay, so I have to think to say where I am.
But see, when you're Flash Gordon and you travel the universe as much as you have, you never really can keep track, right? I mean, it's always something different now.
But Brian said 79. Yeah, Flash Gordon, we filmed it in 79. But I arrived in Hollywood in 76. Who wants to hear a quick little, my history within?
Yes, please, absolutely.
30, I want to try to do time me. I'm going to try to do 30 seconds. You ready? I joined the Marine Corps to be a lifer at 17. I started playing Marine Corps football. I got a little bit arrogant. I thought I was great. I thought the pros needed me. I did my time in the Corps, 4 years. At 21, I went to try out for the Seahawks. What do you think the Seahawks said? Thank you very much. We don't need you. So here I am at 21, a young 21, and Marine Corps is over, football is over. I read an article on Clint Eastwood that inspired me to go to Hollywood. I arrived in Hollywood in 76. What's the time on that?
Hey, man, that was perfect. We're not judging. We're not.
That's in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
30 seconds.
That's really it. But I love what Denzel Washington says. He says, dream and dream big, but a dream means nothing without a plan. So I had a plan, right? I'm going to Hollywood. Well, I needed a car. My grandpa lived up in, the reason why I went to Seahawks to try out is because I had a safe place. This doesn't count within the 30 seconds, by the way. This is an extension, okay? So I bought my grandpa's car, a 1968 Dodge Coronet 440. Oh, yeah. And back then in 76, it was probably worth, I don't know, 800, 1,000. But he didn't want to, that older sort of macho, our parents and grandparents. He didn't want to show me that he was blessing me. So he turned to me and goes, okay, you want to buy my car? It's $50. Okay, so he was actually blessing me, right? He was basically saying, here, I'm blessing you. It's only $50. So I had a car. I drive to LA. I stayed with my aunt. She lived outside of LA. I stayed there for about a month. The day I arrived, I got a job as a waiter. That same night, I joined an acting class, so that was my plan. And within a couple of months, we were doing auditions, and next thing you knew, my first paying job, other than working as a waiter in the industry, was I did a Schaefer beer commercial with who follows the NBA, basketball, right? The old timers. Who's the old timers? Jerry West. I did a Schaefer beer commercial with the legend Jerry West with the Lakers. So it just exponentially increased after that. Yeah.
That's awesome. What gave you the bug to start acting? Because like you said, you had a lot of other things that you were interested in.
Yeah, that was it. I mean, like I said, I mean, 21, 21 is, I think, and for all you youngsters out there, even middle-aged and older like me, when certain doors are closed, we could look at it as, we could look at it certain ways. I think at my young age, I kind of punished myself, they don't want me. I made a bad mistake. Why didn't I stay? I joined the Corps to be a lifer. That's over. And obviously they don't want me for, even though I played, I left out one, I played one season on the Seahawks practice squad, which is their farm team called the Burien Flyers. So at 21, you're thinking, well, yeah, where's my value? You know, they don't want me, okay? So, yeah, I put my head down. So when I talk about, listen, guys, when I talk about me and my industry, just substitute my industry for whatever your industry is. It's the same application. It's the same thoughts. It's the human condition. So here I am, 21. I put my head down. And, you know, we can really over-punish ourselves and say things like, oh, I'm not needed anymore. What's the point of even going further? But I just had my eyes up enough where a buddy came to me and said, hey, you know, you need to read this article on Clint Eastwood. And it wasn't so much about the movie industry. This is wild. I knew him from the old black and white series called Rawhide. Come on, you guys remember that? And I thought, well, yeah, he's kind of a hero, kind of a John Wayne guy. But what inspired me about his attitude when he's not making movies or TV series, he's not sitting there complaining and whining or waiting by the phone. He's out there doing construction, digging ditches for swimming pools. The type of swimming pools where the heavy equipment couldn't reach in the backyard, so he's swinging a pick and a shovel. I thought, oh my God, this guy's got some freaking character, you know? So that kind of inspired me. Well, I could go to Hollywood, you know, and I could get a series, and when that's over, oh, maybe I could dig some ditches and some swimming pools instead of, you know, work. It's freaking work, man. And so that, I just wanted to make that clear. So whenever, and look, here's the deal. I mean, look at the blessing. Yeah, these doors were shut. Marine Corps is over. But even though in my mind right now, I still believe that I'm a Marine. 51 years a Marine.
Awesome.
Once a Marine, always a Marine.
Yeah.
Semper Fi.
Absolutely, Semper Fi. So I wouldn't be here right now talking to you had those two doors, Marine Corps and pro football, had those doors not been shut. Isn't that amazing? So we just keep our eyes up a little bit. God will open up, or a friend, or God using a friend, he might open up a gigantic door, but we can't see that gigantic door opening because we're so hard on ourselves. But I had my eyes up enough where I could see a window, and here I am. It's wonderful.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I had to do a little bit of research last night. Any excuse I can ever get to rewatch Flash Gordon, I will do anytime. So last night, I'm watching this thing again for probably about the 9 millionth time. And it got me thinking, how did you feel going into this as first time leading man in a movie with all of these other established actors? You had Timothy Dalton, you had Max von Sydow, you had these bigger names, and you are the fresh face. You go in there and you carry the project. What was the pressure like? How did you feel about that? What was the scene?
Brian, that's a great question. Same application now in life. Even the story about Marine Corps and football and that. I usually get those first voices in my head. I talk to other men, and it's the same kind. Usually the first voices in my head are, you don't belong here, you don't deserve this, you're not talented enough. And when I walked on the set, those voices started to say, there's Max von Sydow. There's John Hallam. There's John Osborne, who was he actually wrote. He was a playwright. There's Richard O'Brien as an actor who wrote the Rocky Horror Picture Show, right? And all these English actors, and it's like the voice. Who the hell do you think you are? You're going to fail miserably. But for me, when that second voice comes in, I call it the voice of God. That second voice says, "Shut up, okay." You do belong here, and all this thought about these big actors, that's not your concern, Sam. So why you even think your concern is, okay, this is beautiful, great sets, great talent. What is my focus? And this is, we all need to think about this. What is expected of me at this very moment, at this very second? Is to focus on your job, and that's to have your scene, memorized, listen to the director, and do your job. Not about, why do you think they tell great athletes, especially baseball players, a lot of them, just shut out all the noise. That's noise, guys. That's noise when you're hanging out with in your business. Let's say big corporation. There's the CEO. There's the executive VP or whatever, and you're hanging out. Well, just be yourself. But what's expected of you? It's not to focus on, oh, what's he thinking about me? Oh my God. Oh my. No, that's going to take you right out of the game. It's going to diminish you so much you're not going to be able to bring the very best of you out or anybody else. So those voices, it's usually the second voice I wait for. Now as I get older, it's kind of cool. That first voice comes in, and even when the first voice starts to say one syllable, the second voice says, shut up, okay? It's kind of cool. When you get older, you don't even entertain those thoughts. Say, no, I do belong here. I may not be the best of the best, but by golly, I'm going to give it my best, and I'm going to succeed. It's just that simple. It's a great question, and to this day, no matter what it is, focus. We all need to focus, whether it's family, whether it's friends, whether it's business, even Comic Cons. What are you focused on? You're coming here to, man, this is great. We're having community, no longer isolation. Isn't that amazing how COVID said, okay, I know you love community. I know you like to get out and meet people, but no, you're now an isolationist. I mean, my God, was that horrible for the human condition? So I started doing Comic Cons, believe it or not. I was doing them before COVID, but it's 2020, right, when COVID hit. Certain states opened up first, I'm talking about Oklahoma, Nebraska, I'm talking about May and early June, right, during COVID. They said, hey, Sam, you want to go? Not too many actors want to go, but you want to go to, I think, Casper, Wyoming, or Cheyenne, Wyoming, and Oklahoma? I said, yeah. I said, what are the guidelines? I always ask, what are the restrictions? Well, you're going to be behind a plexiglass wall. You're not only going to have a mask, you're going to have a face shield on. So when I got to Cheyenne or Casper, wherever it was, they had that big plexiglass wall between me, this human being, and you, the crowd of human beings who couldn't wait to get out of the house and have community. So what do you think the first thing I shouted? I said, tear down that wall, okay? We had the face shield. I took off the face shield. I kept the mask on because, I guess you want to set the example.
Well, it's criminal to shield a face like this. Yes, look at this guy. Yeah.
No, but they had, somebody gave me, that's when they got creative. Remember the transparent mask. Okay, there's a transparent face shield, but there's a transparent mask, which first of all, it didn't really look like a mask until you got up close, but we did that. And, no, you're absolutely right about that. Did you guys hear that? The deaf community needs to read our lips. And, especially because I talk kind of fast sometimes. Speaking of which, I got a great story based on the deaf community. I played the dad in a movie, a true story, called Silent Natural, about the first deaf Major League Baseball player in America in the late 1800s, William Hoy. But you could not, back then, when you called somebody a dummy, it was not a derogatory term. It just meant I can't speak and I can't hear. He refused. You had to call him, his nickname was Dummy Hoy. You can't do that nowadays because it's turned derogatory. But long story short, this was great. I mean, man, working with the deaf actors and the deaf translators, and it helped me, it inspired me as a human being, as an actor. Because when you're talking to other human beings that don't hear, they have to read your lips. So what does it do to you? The person who can talk and who can hear, you become, this whole other world opens up of, not only eye contact, but when they're looking at me, I know the first thing I notice, their eye contact, they're looking beyond my eyes. They're looking into my soul, seriously. So this whole communication thing, let me tell you a funny story. So at the end of each day, any job you do, whether your industry or the movie business, you go back to the hotel, whatever. You go to the lobby, or you go to the bar, or you go to the restaurant, and you sit there and you have a drink and you have something to eat. You got to hear this, young lady. So these 5, 6 deaf actors and translators who some of the translators can talk, but some of them couldn't. So they got a bottle of Jack Daniels. I'm not making this up. And you know how we drink? I don't drink Jack. I can't drink hard liquor. My dad did, so I can't. But I do like a little red wine every now and then. What time is it? So you know how we start drinking, and we get loud, and we get annoying, and we get bold, and we get a little bit rude, okay? Imagine this group of deaf actors and translators. You can't hear a word, but with the sign language and the body language, they are screaming. And another cool story. So the lead actor, I'm sorry, is that a movie?
No.
No, but it should be.
Okay, Deaf Simply said, it should be. Yeah. Oh no, it's crazy. So let me tell you another cute story. So the lead actor, young guy, Mitchell, yeah. So it was his first lead role. He's done other movies before. Remember, he can't talk. And he would ask me at the end of each scene, he'd say, he just taught me a few things. This means good, this means bad, please, right? But I love the good and the bad stuff. So at the end of each scene, he'd come up to me and he'd say to me, how'd I do? Basically. And I'd say, you were bad. You were so bad. You bad, really bad. And at first it shocked him because he thought I was only teasing. So that's how we formed the relationship. And you're right, we can't make it different for them. We should use humor too. That's how you reach people, right? And it was one of the greatest experiences of my life now. And again, I don't want to be redundant, but they taught me that, when they look at us, they're looking at our eyes, but in through to our soul. And they know, even if we're not speaking, they know how we really feel about them. Right? Facial expression. We can't hide anything from them. Can't hide anything. It's an amazing wake-up call. Go ahead.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
So I know we have a lot of questions out in the audience.
Yeah.
I know everybody has something they want to ask. Let's get to that now. But before we do that, just real quick, I just wanted to go through some of the highlights of your career here while we get set up. So this is
You
just
mean jail time?
a smattering, right? So for TV, we have Code Red, First and 10, The Highwayman, Cobra, Baywatch. I love Baywatch. Renegade, Walker, Texas Ranger, Thunder in Paradise, Hollywood Safari, LA Heat, Silk Stockings, a lot more than that. And the movies, we have 10. 10 is a quick. No round of applause for 10. 10 is that's
number 10, yeah.
10. 10 is a great movie.
10 and Ted.
10 and Ted, yes, exactly. 10 and Ted, that's correct.
Yeah.
That's why they thought I said Ted. So you should clap if you thought I said Ted. Anyway, we'll get back to that in a minute.
Did you think he said Ted,
Ted?
Or the number 10 when he first said it?
10. There we go,
okay,
yeah.
got it, yeah.
So My Chauffeur, Jane and the Lost City, White Force, Driving Force, Fist of Honor, American Strays, Baja Run, Down and Dirty, Ted, Ted, and Ted 2, and of course, the movie where he's the savior of the universe, the king of the impossible, something to the effect of, right? To say, Flash. There we go. Yeah, there's it.
So the Driving Force movie, I actually did that in the Philippines with Catherine Bach, which is kind of cool.
Nice.
And guess who else was in that movie? He became iconic, and he still is. Billy Blanks. Remember Billy Blanks?
Yes,
who started
Tybo.
Tybo?
Yeah.
He did this unknown martial artist named Billy Blanks.
Wow.
We did that. She says 89, but I want to say more like 86, 87. We were in the Philippines. And then Patrick Swayze's brother, Don Swayze.
Yeah.
So it was kind of cool, yeah.
Awesome. Very cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's kick this thing out to the audience here. I know we have a couple questions. What do you got for us there, Mario?
Hey, it's me, Mario.
Hey, Mario.
Okay, so you get the call, and they say, Sam, we got a project for you. It's an old serial from way back in the day. It's Flash Gordon.
Yeah.
What point do you say, okay, yeah, I'm in? When do you say yes? Or when you hear what it is, they explain it to you?
It's a good question, but it leads to a lot of answers, but I'll make it real quick. First of all, the second part of that question, you said, what did I think about it? Let me just explain something to you about the business, okay? There's only a handful, the A-list, the Denzels, the Tom Cruises, et cetera, that they get to pick and choose. When we get an offer, okay, and I'm talking about they're inside a 1 percentile of the actors, okay, the A-listers. So the other 99.5, okay? No, they get an offer. It's not, let me think about it. Yeah, right. No, what do you mean? You accepted that movie. Are you kidding me? The phone rang 8 months ago. You took the movie. And here's why. Because I'm part of that. And number two, the economical numbers, the economy doesn't lie, meaning, here's the numbers. You say you want to be an actor. What age? You're 17, you're 5, you're 80, because we need all ages. Here's the economics. So only 3%, and that's not even including what we just talked about, that A-list. Only 3% of every actor or actress in the world can pay his or her bills on movie money. So what are you saying there? Okay. That means they need a secondary income to pay their bills. What's the other side of that? 97% of every actor in the world or actress cannot pay their month-to-month bills without a secondary income. Woo! So you want to be an actor. Okay, it's funny, they used to have this crazy vernacular, this term in the movie business called, the film industry is so unpredictable. I thought, what are you talking about? It's predictable that it will always be inconsistent. Okay, come on. So thank God, and my wife was instrumental maybe 23 years ago when the phone stopped ringing, and there I was by the phone. Well, we didn't have that little puppy back then. I don't think we did. I mean, I got my first iPhone in 86. It was so enormous. It was before the brick, the gray brick. It was a Panasonic size of a landline with a shoulder harness and an antenna. People thought I was faking it. Yeah, people thought I was faking it wherever I went.
A little car battery attached to it and all, yeah.
But why did I go to that? I went on a rabbit trail based on,
getting the role.
So the phone stopped ringing, it would usually be a month or 2 or 3, but when it increases to 6 months, 8 months, a year, it's not ringing for an acting job, okay? And now we have 5 kids now, 3 are married, 1's engaged, so they're adults. But back then, let me see, 2 of them were in diapers and 1 was just out of diapers and 2 were a little bit older. So my wife said, I've been watching you wait by the phone for 10 months. I don't know what's going on, okay, but your behavior is really funky and scaring me. She said, and guys, okay, I talk about the first voice, the second voice. This is when you need to listen to the people you trust, like your spouse, okay? She said, there's the door. You come back to this family when you're providing for this family. I said, okay. So I called my construction buddy. Remember, I'll be 70 next year. So here I am in my mid to late 40s, whatever the math is on 22 years ago. Whatever the math is. I don't know what the math is. What's the math, 47? 47. I'm 47 years old. I'm on a construction site doing manual labor, but I'm killing it. I'm putting these bodybuilder, muscle-bound guys, all smoking pot, by the way. Be careful about construction sites and who you hire to work on your house. They're all freaking high, okay? They're freaking high. No, they only smoke bull doo-doo. They're smoking when they roll out of bed, because I did it, okay? I did it. I know what goes on.
You didn't know you were going to get contractor tips from Sam J. Jones today.
Let me just be more transparent. I left out one very important thing. While I was waiting for the phone to ring, I was medicating myself on pot. Big deal. Well, it is a big deal for me, because if the phone's not ringing, the first hour, the second hour, then you go hit a doobie again, and and the more it doesn't ring, the more doobie hits you take. Okay, you know where I'm going with this? 8 to 10 times a day. But I was very good. My wife didn't know what I was doing, because I was very good at disguising it. All right, I'd have a cigar. And I'd be smoking a cigar outside with the dogs, okay? And you go, oh, you stink. Why do you smell like stinky feet? That's really what pot smells like, is stinky feet. All right. The cigar.
Where were you getting your
cigar?
pot? I gotta know.
Well, no, even 22 years ago, it was a high THC. So here I am medicating myself 5 to 8 times a day, minimum for 10 months. The phone's not ringing for me, but I had to keep a smile on my face. And the only way to continue keeping a smile on your face when you're not functioning the proper way as a man, on being a provider and thinking outside the box, like go get a freaking job. It doesn't matter. Just go get a freaking job, legal job. Yeah.
So
yeah.
What I was going to say, we got one more question because we got to wrap it up.
We got to go? Seriously?
Yeah.
Well, I got to finish the story.
Okay, go for it.
This is a game changer for a lot. Well, who's coming in behind me?
Katie and Kathy.
Oh, are they here now?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll make this quick. Long story short. So the two very things that I was walking away from to get healed from, I wanted to stop smoking pot because it was diminishing me at the time. I couldn't think straight. And the other thing was, not having value in the movie industry, whatever your industry is, right? Just substitute that. So I go on the construction site, and what are they doing? They're all smoking pot, and I didn't touch it. They're all not only smoking pot, but guess what I'm not making this up. Guess what they're talking about during lunch hour? They're talking about relevant actors in Hollywood who are no longer making movies, but they're doing like medial jobs, like construction and stuff like that. Construction and security guard work, okay? Okay, this is what I was going through. So I thought, oh God, this is from you right here. So I said, I'm not going to break. My wife said, go get a job, be a provider. So that's when the whole world changed for me. Again, put this in your own industry, your own category. I listened to my wife. I got over myself, stopped punishing myself. And of course, construction can only last so long at 47. I connected with some of my former military guys. I became a professional security guy, meaning I travel the world protecting principals, protecting VIPs from, I protect them from bad guys. So a whole nother vocation opened up because I listened to somebody I trusted. I stopped the things that were diminishing me. Okay, pot's a whole nother issue we could talk about if you want to come to my table. But yeah, I'm no longer diminished because I'm thinking straight. I'm not perfect, but I have 2 jobs. So, and the biggest thing it did, it took away that label from me. Oh, I'm an actor. Oh, I'm an actor. Oh, no, I'm just a physicist. No, I'm just a truck driver. No, I'm just a nurse. No, guess what? We're no longer those labels. We are working men and working women to do anything legal to provide for us and our family. It's awesome. A freaking life changer.
All right.
It's a freaking game changer.
Everybody, give a big round of applause for Sam Jones.
Thank you again.
This is Captain Zap Brannigan. I prefer to call myself Admiral Zap Brannigan. I'd like to draw your attention to that sexy subscribe button, those curves, that triangle. Like Leela's eye. Click it. Ah, that was great. Follow fun and have fandom and yabo.